Ladies and gentlemen, I am angry. And to be completely honest with you, I'm upset as well. Like, I'm genuinely pissed, and I know I shouldn't be. And I know I've said it before, don't read what other people say about you. But for whatever reason, this has really struck a chord with me. This has really got under my skin, and I need to address it. Because not only will I prove this person wrong, but I'm going to completely destroy their entire theory altogether. Because I have buried my head in research over the past couple of days. I have completely obsessed myself with it. And what I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing short of, well, very interesting, to say the very least. Now, I dish enough shit out there to piss people off, and often I get criticism, and that is part of the job. That is what I get paid for. So when you hear people on the internet, be that influencers, comedians, Instagram models, whatever, when you hear them say, oh, this is not part of the job, it's part of the job, shut the fuck up. Anyway, what's happened to me blew my mind and pissed me fucking right off. And I couldn't say that right at the start, but it fucking pissed me off. I saw a post. I got tagged in it 1,000 times. I got it sent to me from a Facebook page with 1.7 million followers. 1.7 million. This page is called Meanwhile in Australia. It's a meme page. It posts memes about crocodiles, Steve Irwin, Vegemite, fucking spiders, all that shit. But for some reason, just over the past couple of months, they must have a new admin or moderator or something. They've gone extremely political. And unfortunately, they have some and there's no other word for it, it describes it perfectly, but woke shit opinions. And their number one shit opinion is this. In Australia, 1 in 4 women have experienced domestic abuse, which is horrible, okay? The fact that 25% of women experience domestic abuse. In Australia, 1 in 5 women have experienced sexual violence since the age of 12. Once again, horrible. Wake up, Australia. Now, obviously, that opening statement is horrible. We don't want to have that. Terrible. If you think we don't have a problem with aggression, sexism, and misogyny in this country, then I'm afraid you are part of the problem. Yeah, okay, sure. Bad people, we do. All over the world, we always have had a problem with people being too aggressive and angry and violent and all that type of stuff. It's part of the human condition, unfortunately. But it's this bit that got me. Why won't the parents of little boys, let's blame the young man, good idea, teach them respect or how to treat women with respect? If your teen child is seeking out the Andrew Tates, okay, fair enough, Andrew Tate's bad man, horrible man, the Isaac Butterfields, fucking what? Me? Why am I in the same realm as fucking this guy?
I refuse to have a nerd carry the name Tate. If my son is a nerd, one of us has to die, him or me, and I'll challenge him to mortal combat. The last time I took one of these spaces, someone goes, excuse me, are you disabled? I replied, you're a slave if you have a job in any form. Some slaves are better paid than others, but most people are slaves.
What the? Or any other anti-feminist or anti-women content influencers. In what fucking world am I anti-woman? If you think that, then you're a dumb all right? That's the most brazen way I can express how that opinion is. You are a fucking dumb in the so-called manosphere. You should be embarrassed at your levels of skills and influence on your children as a parent. How am I, Isaac Butterfield? I sound like a dickhead saying my own name, but I just did it, so whatever. How am I in the same realm as fucking Andrew Tate? A dude who was arrested with his brother and 2 women in 2022 and then formally charged in 2023 with human trafficking, rape, forming an organised criminal group and allegedly luring women and exploiting them via online adult content. That's all alleged, by the way. There were extra charges including trafficking minors, sexual intercourse with a minor, money laundering and witness intimidation. In 2024, a European arrest warrant was issued with allegations of human trafficking again and other things. And there's all these things happening between 2012 and 2025. And then in Florida, he was arrested again for fucking human trafficking and all these other horrible things. There was accusations of physical abuse by ex-girlfriends. There was a claim of an ongoing verbal and physical and emotional abuse by Mate, I'm just a fucking dude who watches crazy vegan people and makes fun of ridiculous feminists on TikTok. I'm hardly the same as fucking Andrew Tate. Now, I will say this about Andrew Tate is everything that I just listed is alleged, and he's not currently in jail. So who knows if those allegations are true or not? I guess only he and the people who accused him. Now, I have heard a lot about Andrew Tate being a terrible influence on young men and how harmful he is. And I thought, okay, well, we need to work out why he's so harmful. So I did ask the smartest person I know, ChatGPT, what are the most misogynistic claims or quotes that have come out of Andrew Tate's mouth over the past couple of years? And it came back with this real misogynistic stuff here. He said that I think women belong to men. Okay, that's fucking stupid. Why would anyone say that? I hope he's joking. He also said women are more emotional and less rational than men, which makes them unsuitable for leadership roles. Well, maybe that's true. I don't know. He also said a woman's body is the most valuable asset, maybe for some women. It's what attracts men. That's true. And what gives them power. Yeah, that's not demeaning at all. That's probably pretty true. Women should clean up, not because it's their job, because they love their man. I mean, everyone should clean up because they love their partner. But yeah, okay, he says some dumb shit. And half the time I think he's just fucking around. But this whole blaming Andrew Tate for everything that's wrong in the world. And when you see a woman who has been attacked or violently assaulted or murdered or something horrible, you always see people jump in and say, well, this is because of people like Andrew Tate. And now me, for some reason. I want to explore whether or not he really is to blame. But once again, can I just say, why the fuck am I in there? By the way, I spent some time looking into this page. You know what's hilarious? When you get someone's email address, which I just happen to have this page's email address, you can find out exactly who this person is. So hello, fuckface. Yeah, fucking, that's not a threat, by the way. I'm not trying to be threatening. I'm just saying, fuck you, cocksmoker. If you've got a problem with me, address it with me, dipshit. Anyway, this person whose name is fuck you. I expect a retraction and an apology in the next couple of days, you fucking twat. I just cannot believe that someone would connect me in with women dying and being abused. Anyway, shout out also to the big hero Chloe Arcus, because she comes in and says, it's not just the Andrew Tates and the Butterfields. Fuck me sideways. That are influencing people. It's large numbers of everyday men in the comments defending men every time. Jesus. Thank you, though, to Caitlin DeBauer. What the hell did Isaac Butterfield do? I agree. I'm just here talking shit, making jokes. I'd just like to put this out there. Do you want to know my opinions on women? I don't have opinions on women. I don't take a whole collective class of people and say, this is, well, except for vegans, I guess. But that's warranted. I don't take all women and put them into one group and say all women are this. That's fucking dumb. Anyone who does that about any one of the 4 million genders, anyone who does that is a fucking goose. As for my views on feminism, well, they are as follows. Feminism is fantastic. Unfortunately, it has become less about women being equal and more about women being dominant. If you want equality, it should stop at equality, not try and flip the switch. I know this, I've been very vocal about the wage gap being absolute bullshit. People are told that men and women are paid differently based on just their gender, when that's not true at all. Women are paid less on average, because they do things like choose lower paying jobs. They don't work as hard or as long on average. Doesn't mean you don't work very hard at your job, it's just on an average. And women do this thing called having babies, which means they take time off work and they don't progress as much through their job at the same rate as men. Therefore, as they get into their 40s, they haven't been in work as long. Now, you can avoid those things by not having a baby and choosing higher paying jobs, but on average, women don't, and that is fine, because guess what? Your working life isn't your most important fucking thing. For a lot of people, me included, having a family is more important than all of that shit. And yes, I've also said that brave, hairy, fucking overweight women on TikTok are ridiculous, but who disagrees with that? That doesn't mean I hate women. That just means that I make fun of some of them, just like I do with men. Are you really that feeble that if someone makes fun of someone who's in your gender, then you have to say, oh, they're a misogynist? Fucking shut up. Jesus Christ. You sound like a bunch of professional and semi-professional victims. Just realize that that is just a terrible trait to have in your life, and it's going to get you absolutely nowhere. Anyway, I don't have to say shit like this, but 40% of the people that come to my shows are women, and they seem to have a fun time, so good on them. Fuck you. But I guess what's important to me is I know exactly who I am. Even though this person with 1.7 million followers has decided to put out an outright outrageous statement against me, I know who I am and I know how I feel about the opposite sex. I don't feel anything. I tend to judge people individually. But what they've said hurts me. Brands might not want to work with me. Venues might not want to have me because I've been declared the fucking Robin to his Batman. Interesting, isn't it? How they may have, in fact, harmed the amount of money that I could make. Interesting. I think right now there are a lot of people who are trying to conflate opinions, and sometimes very mild opinions, with outright misogyny. Like what everyone's doing to this poor dude.
I don't want my partner working unless she wants to work. If you feel the need to go and work to make money and then you come home and you're complaining about your day when we don't need you to make money because we're sorted. If we've got 4 hours to spend in the afternoon and I ask you, how was your day today, babe? I want your eyes to light up with excitement with whatever the fuck it was. I collected 4 postcards today.
And that's energy awesome. Too. It's so good.
It's the calm, it's the harmony, it's the peace and love that a man that's got a busy life that's chasing his dreams needs when he's trying to wind down.
Yeah, okay, he says some dumb shit, but he didn't say enough for the entire fucking internet to have a meltdown in Australia because of what he had to say. Look at this.
Here's a thought. If you're a 20-something-year-old male and you and your mate are sitting around thinking, hey, you know what would be good? We should start a podcast, an inspirational podcast. Maybe just don't.
This is my audition for the role of girlfriend. I went on a hot girl walk today. Ladies, a man is not a financial plan, okay? Can we get that into our heads from really fucking young?
Hot girl walks. I get a little feminine energy.
I want to talk about that recent podcast where a man-child basically explained that he wanted a partner that stayed home so that it didn't inconvenience him when his partner had a bad day at work.
All he said was if his wife didn't have to work, she doesn't have to work. If you want to work, fucking work. Jesus. Listen, my best friend, my wife, my partner, the person I spend every day with is obviously a woman, like a real life one. And just when people say this type of shit, it fucking annoys me. Like it's madness. And I know from talking to her and listening to her lived experience, things like harassment and violence and things like that are very real. There are very much a problem that we have to get to. Now, how do we address that? I think maybe it's up to us, the dads of this next generation, to make sure that we raise a generation of young men who are good, strong, masculine, good people. Like, there's nothing wrong with being masculine as long as you're not a fucking cocksmoker. I think really that's where it all comes from. I don't think it's the manosphere. Maybe for kids that don't have a dad or a father figure, maybe that is a problem. But this blaming Andrew Tate for everything that goes wrong is just, what it does is it doesn't achieve anything. It doesn't help the problem. Because Andrew Tate appeared basically almost out of nowhere after, I think he was on Big Brother in the UK in about 2022. That's where his stardom really hit its peak. Since January 2022, domestic violence trends have stabilised globally. They're actually going up quite quickly during the global sickness, which is interesting. And there's been no significant increases or decreases in the prevalence of domestic violence throughout the Western world since 2022. When Andrew Tate became quite famous. So why are we blaming him for everything, even though he's a dick? In fact, it's safer than ever to be a woman. Like, are you going to tell me with a straight face that it's more dangerous now than 50, 60, 100 years ago? Come on. So since Andrew Tate's been around, the rates of violence haven't gone up at all. Like, every year you might see a little bit of one of these, but statistically not significant. Personally, very significant. People losing family members, horrific, horrible. But statistically speaking, not that significant. We don't see these massive rises like the media would have you believe. Both social, new media, and legacy media. From 2005 to 2022, the Australian Bureau of Statistics Personal Safety Survey indicates a drop in intimate partner violence for women from 2.3% to 1.5%. So that's in Australia. In the United States, intimate partner violence, approximately 1 in 4 women have experienced severe intimate partner violence, a figure that has shown minimal change over the past 2 decades. So this is really interesting. It seems all of these first world countries that, you know, are the main people who watch YouTube, well, my YouTube channel anyway, they are not seeing these drastic increases. And this is seen also in healthcare data in America. Between 2007 and 2019, there was a noted decrease in the proportion of women presenting to trauma centers with injuries from abuse or assault. Now, that doesn't mean that people aren't being abused emotionally or financially or in other ways, coerced into things. But when you look at just these violent outbursts from these crazy people, it seems to be that it is just a certain amount every single year. Now, that doesn't mean that that's a good thing, or that doesn't mean that anyone should be given a free pass. It just means that it's not this dramatic, crazy outbreak of violence everywhere that can't be stopped. It just means that it happens, and it shouldn't, but it's happening just the same amount as it does every year, and hasn't increased in 2 or 3 decades. Now, there are statistics that show there is a gradual increase, but the criticisms of that are that there has been, in fact, more reporting, which is great. These pricks should go to jail, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's been more crime, just more reports of the crime. So yes, domestic violence is a very real issue, but is Andrew Tate to blame? I don't think so. I think we're barking up the wrong tree. And am I to blame? Fucking no. Okay, so to wrap all of this video up, I just want to say that blaming all men is a problem, and this is why people seem to have an issue with it, even though it is men that are committing these violent crimes. Because you're teaching young boys that they are the problem. And if you grow up as a problem, you're probably going to be a problem. Like if you treat a dog like shit, then they're going to be a piece of shit. There's no getting out of that. So I don't have an answer, I guess. It's unfortunate. I think we, as, you know, people my age, I'm nearly 32, the fathers of this next generation, we need to make absolutely sure that the children we bring up are respectful, loving, great creatures. That's number one here. And we need to make sure that the trauma that some of us faced as younger people, be that big trauma, like horrific things or just little things, if we can just avoid those traumas for our kids and look after them, then maybe these numbers of domestic violence will gradually decrease. But we'll never get rid of it because human beings are flawed forever. They will always be flawed. And this is why I can't stand the argument from a lot of ladies out there when something horrible happens and they say, we should be safe. Of course you should be safe. Of course you should be able to walk at night. We all should be able to, but that is not the reality. And if you try to live in that reality, then it is dangerous. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But shout out to the Meanwhile in Australia Facebook page. Fuck you to the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. My dick stinks. Toodaloo, au revoir. Bye-bye.